Afternoon. Good time to start thinking about dinner. Hi. Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back. How have you been? And don't you think the time has been frozen since the Rona took the reins? Well, if you didn't catch it so far, what I'm going to talk to you today is about a frozen green bean dish. It's very simple, and without further ado, let's go and see what we need for it. All we need is a bag of frozen green beans, some chunkily sliced onions, a can of your favorite pasta sauce, and your favorite spice blend. If you don't have Berbere, you can still use cumin and red chili powder or paprika if you don't want it to be super hot, but that's it. That's all the thing that you need, except you will need a little bit of oil to cook everything down. Now, as I promised, I'm going to show you how to slice these onions, and then we can move on quickly. Berbere, which is Ethiopian-spiced blend. I made my own because most of the spices are congruent to a lot of Indian spices, and I had all of them, so I made it at home myself. But you can buy it online or you can buy it at a store. It's Berbere Ethiopian-spiced blend. You could easily find it, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I'll put a link in the video description, and you can go and check it out and see what ingredients are needed to make your own Berbere. And you can make it yourself too. Take an onion and see which side or which end of it does not have the root. Chop that end, and that will help you peel away the skin. And once you've taken out the integument or the crispy skin, you have the onion. Then chop it in half with the root part intact. That will help you hold all of the leaves of the onion together while you are chopping or slicing. So once you have something like this, then you can go ahead and do your chop or your slice. Put the onion flat side down, and then just measure about ½ an inch thick. It needs to be really thick because we are going to cook down this onion, and you want to be able to taste the onion as chunks after you have cooked the dish. So that is why we are going for really thick slices like that. And then you can throw away this root part, and all you need to do is crush it a bit so the leaves separate, and you have really thick slices and leaves of this onion that's ready for this dish. Now I have cut 2 medium-sized onions for this dish for 1 packet of frozen green beans. So if you want less onions, go with less onions, but I strongly suggest having a lot of onions in this dish because I think that makes this dish. So I have a pot here, and then I'm just adding about 2 to 3 tablespoons of regular vegetable oil or any cooking oil that you usually use. And then you just need to wait for the oil to heat up. As I said before, the oil has been heating on medium-high for about a minute, just about a minute, and I think it's become more fluid and the oil is ready. And then in go the onions. That's the sound you want. And then we're going to cook this onion, or saute this onions, until they start slightly becoming translucent. It's been about 2 minutes now, and the onions are translucent and a little shiny. The oil is still hot, and this is the time I'm going to add all of the green beans from the packet, and I'm going to raise the heat a little bit because I don't want the pan's heat or the pot's heat to go down really quick. That will just stop the cooking, and then it'll just be soggy. So I'm just going to increase the heat to a high, and then wait for about 30 seconds before I chuck in all the green beans. And once I chuck in all the green beans, I wait until the green beans are defrosted in the pot before I do anything else. So, into the hot pot, all the green beans. Give it a stir. Okay, it's been 2 minutes and the beans have defrosted really well. Just going to mix it up a little. And this is the time to add your spice mix. Again, I like spice, I like the heat, I like the punch, so I'm going to add about 2 to 3 teaspoons of this mixture. But if you want less, add less. It's up to you. Give it a mix, and then let it cook for a minute. Every time I add something to the pot, I just let 30 seconds or 1 minute so that the pot is all mixed up and everything comes back to a particular temperature that it was before I added that ingredient. So, and that is how it looks. Now I am going to reduce the heat back down to a medium-high from high, and then add my canned pasta sauce. You can add as much as you want, depending on the size of the jar of the sauce and whatnot, but you just want the entire thing to be covered. Yeah, you see immediately the pot's temperature went down a bit. It's all quiet now. It's all quiet. It started bubbling. I'm still going to reduce the heat. Now it's going to be medium instead of medium-high because you don't want the tomatoes to catch fire. They're already cooked, so you don't want to cook them too much. The sauce has some salt, but the beans and the onions don't have any salt, so I'm just going to add a teeny bit of salt. And as I told you before, it's up to you, the amount of salt. I can't give you a teaspoon measure for salt or spice. For spice I could, but then I'll give you my measure and tell you how much spice I eat, and then you can tone it down. And the most important thing now is to close the lid and let the green beans cook in the sauce for about 5 minutes. It's been about 5 minutes and it's been slowly boiling and steaming away, which is what we need. Can you see how thick and saucy this is? This is yumminess. Aha! There it is. Can you see? Oh my god, that is delicious. Ooh. Okay, so I did some baking experiment this morning, and I came up with this coconut milk bread that I made with sesame seeds and whatnot. I ate one of it already, and that was the tester, and this is the one that I'm going to plate with here. You could also serve this green bean dish with rice or any other carb that you would like, even boiled potatoes or mashed potatoes. I am just going to help myself to a healthy serving of these green beans and this one bread, and that would be my supper. Oh my god, I can already taste it because I've made this so many times and this is one of my absolute favorites, and it only took a few minutes to do all of this. Look at that, excluding the bread. You could always make some rice, but look at that. Isn't that appetizing? Isn't that wonderful? Wasn't that easy to make? So I am going to